What is going on, Kaiju Live family? Welcome back. Happy New Year. We are joined
Hey,
by
everybody.
the one and only Giuseppe Bianco, aka
Hey
Kaiju
everyone.
Sketches. What is going on, man? Thank you so much for joining us. Our first Kaiju Live chat of 2021.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. This is so exciting. This is my YouTube debut. So big exclusive on Kaiju Live. No, but thank you guys for having me. This is an honor. Really, I love your show. So this is so cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
um, so this is another blushing moment. This is the second person to ever ask to do a live chat. So it's still so surreal to me.
It shouldn't be. You guys are awesome. Everyone loves you.
So how did you first get into Kaiju Live? I don't think
So
I've
I
ever asked
saw
anyone that question.
I saw you on our dear friend Leslie Chambers' channel, and I'm a big fan of his. I love his channel, and
Yeah,
he does a
Leslie's
lot of
great.
he's the best, and his wife's awesome. So basically, he was doing a chat, and he had a bunch of you guys there, and at the end, he was asking everyone, "Hey, what are you guys up to? What do you have coming up on your show?" And when he got to you, he said, "Oh, you said you're doing the live auction on Sunday on Kaiju Live," and I was like, "Kaiju Live? What's that?" So I looked it up, and I just started. I swear, I was watching like every episode, go like backtracking and backtracking, but like while I work, I just listen to you guys because
Like a podcast? That's awesome.
yeah. So it was you like watching you guys interact cracks me up. It's so fun to watch the family dynamic, your wife involved and your sister too, and I love it. So I saw you do these amazing interviews, and I was like, maybe I can be on the show. And of course, AJ said yes, and here we are.
Yeah, man, you're like you always comment on Instagram on like our stuff, and I've even like took screenshots of your comments and was like,
Oh,
these are the type of and talking to my friends and stuff like this makes the show worth doing. So thank you so much for the amazing comments you've
my pleasure.
pretty much deliver like every week.
My pleasure.
But all right, man, let's get into what you do, your sketches. But before we get into your extremely unique artwork, so you work for Nickelodeon as a illustrator, correct?
Yeah, as a digital illustrator. So it's so funny. Like whenever anyone asks me what I do, I love my job. It's so much fun. And every time I describe it, I always feel like I make it sound boring. But it's not. So here we go. Let me try to describe it to where it sounds exciting. But it is exciting. It's a great job. Basically, I work in the consumer products department. So whenever you go into Target, Walmart, or Macy's and you see character art on a T-shirt, it runs through our incredibly talented team of illustrators. And so where I come in is I will ink and color and shade the art in 2D vector, because a lot of times when you're printing on fabric, you want to stay away from Photoshop art because it gets too mucky and muddy. So we deal with clean, slick vector shapes in Adobe Illustrator. So I work on character art to get it consumer products ready so that it prints really clean and slick on T-shirts and fabrics and things like that. So if you want to, people in the chat, because I know we're all Kaiju fans here, if you want to know what slick, clean vector art looks like, as opposed to like Photoshop that has shadows, like Photoshop is very like CG stuff. But if you look at like super talented artists like John Bellotti Jr., he works in slick, clean vector art. All his stuff is vector based. And someone like Tom Whalen, like if you look at his incredible art, those are slick, clean vector shapes. So we have to make it look like that for products, for the characters to print well on fabric. I hope that whenever I say I work for Nick, people either think that I work on the shows, or that SpongeBob comes over like every Saturday to watch cartoons. That's not the case, but I do love what I do, and it's so much fun. And I work with a great group of people. I hope that wasn't a boring long.
No. I mean, when we were talking yesterday, when we were prepping for the show. The whole tracing thing from like Mallrats.
Right. Yeah. I do ink, color, and shading digitally in Illustrator. You wouldn't know that I work on the computer all day, given our Skype debacle yesterday. Poor AJ when I was trying to use Skype for the first time ever. But yeah, so I deal with digital illustration all day long, and I have been when I first started, we were inking stuff by hand, and I was called a tracer, but I love doing it. I love inking, I love coloring, I love adding shading to the beautiful drawings that are done by our team. So it's a great gig. I'm very blessed to have it.
Oh, excellent.
So if you're not familiar with Giuseppe on Instagram, definitely follow Kaiju_sketches
Right.
to see some of his amazing artwork. But we're gonna actually jump into that right now.
Cool.
Get this new slide going. Let's see how this works out. Testing new stuff. You know how that usually goes on Kaiju Live.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? It's gonna be fine. I have a good feeling about this. I believe in you, AJ.
All right. So like,
Woo!
let's just go ahead, break down like your inspirations for this art style, how it came about, because this stuff is just wild. It's so unique. I absolutely love it.
Oh, thank you so much. So this particular piece, and then I'll go into like the origin story of how I got to like doing organic tree art. It always bugged me that in Biolante's final form, she doesn't have any roses on her. I mean, she's made from rose DNA and Godzilla DNA, so that's why I put a bunch of roses on her. But as far as how I got to this, when 2014 came out, I'll try to make this not so long-winded, but it's an exciting, fun story. So buckle up. Basically, when 2014 came out, it just rekindled my love for all things Godzilla. I mean, I was been a fan my whole life, but when that movie came out, there's another. I wanted to put a rose in Biolante. There it is. So when that film came out, I just started rewatching all of the old Godzilla films with my daughter, introducing her to it. And I finally started drawing Godzilla again for the first time in I don't know how many years. And I started doing like kaiju portraits, like I did AJ's favorite Godzilla 2000. I did GMK and 64, 62, etc. And people seem to really like it. I love doing it. And then because when I joined this fandom, I was discovering all these people on YouTube and watching Richard Iso and Leslie Chambers. Whenever they whenever they reviewed the stuff behind me, X Plus stuff, they would always say, Godzilla has tree bark skin. Here we see his traditional tree bark skin. Here's his charcoal gray tree bark skin. I just kept hearing tree bark skin, tree bark skin. Now, keep in mind, this is way before, I know the Netflix anime, he's kind of like tree rootish, but this is way before that.
Yeah.
So I kept hearing that, and I thought, well, why don't I draw him as a tree? And I did him as a tree. As I looked at a bunch of oak trees, and people really, really liked it. Even people that didn't follow Godzilla were reaching out to me saying, wow, this is really cool. I really love this. I love how you did this. And so then I thought, well, let me take this further. To me, the 64 Mothra, especially on the X Plus figure, her eyes look like sunflowers to me. So I thought I'll do a Mothra tree with sunflower eyes. And I did that. And in the middle of that, I posted like a work in progress. And I actually had someone reach out to me. It was only like 50% done. And this girl on Instagram was like, I'm going to buy this original when you're done. I was like, all right. So I did that. And then I did a Ghidorah tree. And then it just sort of went on from there. And then I did an Anguirus and Baragon. And I realized how much I really, truly love doing organic kaiju. It got beyond tree bark. Like I started studying flowers and leaves and things like that. You can really take it really push it really far. When you make a mistake and you're drawing an arm as a tree branch, you can make a mistake and then twist it and turn it and wrap it and tie it up in a knot and it still looks awesome. So I'm not ashamed to say like I'm not great at like perfect human anatomy, but I love finding the texture in things. So once I found these amazing plant-like textures, I still do like traditional stuff, but the tree branch kaiju floral stuff just took off and I love it. And people seem to really like it. Sorry,
Yeah, man.
long-winded
Like,
answer.
Oh, it's unique.
Thank you.
yeah, man. Like, even
Appreciate it.
just like the rose as Biolante's stomach,
Yeah.
it almost seems like that actually should have been in the movie.
Oh, thank
like,
you.
like
Thanks.
when you really think about it, you're like, oh, that makes actually a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Um,
it always bugged me that she because that first form is so beautiful, and the second form, as crocodilian as she is, it's beautiful, but I just wish it had some flowers in it. So that's what I did. And this was actually done by stippling. Like I actually stamped with dots on this one, so it took like 3 times longer. But you know, it's like therapeutic. It you just take your time with it, and the forms start to come alive. And I
wow.
really wanted to push the crocodilian look on her because to me, she really looks like she's modeled after a crocodile.
Mhm.
So on that one, really, I really looked at a ton of alligator and crocodile heads. And this, I just studied a bunch of oak trees and maple trees and things like that.
And then I know we have a lot of Baragon fans here.
Yes. Ah, there's
I know
Baragon. Yeah.
we'll get to
So
the original one later, but
yes, absolutely.
um, this is just I don't know, man. It's just so crazy, but it works. It's awesome. Nope,
Thank you. Thank
get
you.
out of here, Batra. That's not where I wanted to go.
I actually got a lot of requests for Baragon when I was doing the tree stuff. People kept asking for it, and I thought, well, you know, why not? I love Baragon, and you can do so much with him because he's got his belly has that sort of like checkered sort of
Mhm.
texture that you see in some tree bark, and so I'm not a tree expert, but I've learned a lot more about trees than I ever thought I would. And I have a ton of I have like hundreds of photos now to reference, and so you just have to find the right textures. So when you look at like crisscross patterns in trees, when I worked on Shin, I actually looked at dead tree stumps where like the bark was peeling off, and that was perfect reference for like Shin Godzilla's like neck, you know. So it's just finding the right texture to work with the right kaiju, and then you just run with it and let the branches go where they may, you know.
Yeah, man. And they definitely go in some awesome, awesome freaking directions.
Oh,
Now,
thank you.
I'm also a very big horror fan, so I have to ask. Actually,
Sure.
the top things that you draw, I'm actually huge fans of. So we're gonna talk about all of it. But
Okay, great.
um, we gotta start discussing what's
Okay.
going on here.
So my daughter gets credit for this because when the new Halloween, I don't know if you saw the new Halloween that came out. I think it was about 2 years ago.
Mm,
Um, I was told by several people that it movie didn't have any nudity. So if you want it, because my daughter loves horror movies, but I try to, you know, she's only 14. And at the time she was like 12, 13 when the new Halloween came out. And I was told, you know, it's just blood. It's not like the 80s version that has a lot of that other adult stuff in it.
yes,
So she wanted to see it. I was like, let's go see it. We loved it, the new one, and we came home and I started telling her about you know Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and I haven't shown her those yet because she's too young for those. But she was like, Dad, you should do Godzilla as Freddy, Jason, and Michael. And I was like, that's really crazy. So then, but I liked it. So then I had to find well what works with each character. So I thought GMK would work great for Jason. Um, I used the 64 for Michael, and I used for Shin. I mean, it was a no-brainer. I'm sorry, for Freddy Krueger, I used Shin Godzilla because he's all charred and burnt.
mm,
And I thought, well, you're going to put that striped sweater on him. He's going to look ridiculous, but he does look ridiculous. But it's got that whimsy, you know. So I think it
I
works. I
I
hope it
I
mean,
love
works.
that one.
in defense of
Thank
that,
you.
I mean, it looks ridiculous on Freddy Krueger too. So
Right, and the guy's killing everyone with
yeah,
the striped clown shirt, but
yeah, he's
it's great. It's great. I love those films. So
Where's Waldo going crazy.
right, right, yeah. So she gets the credit for that. So this I call this Kaiju from the Black Lagoon. I was watching this. I thought, you know what? I got to show my daughter the original Creature from the Black Lagoon because it's just a classic monster movie. I love the design. So I put it on. She loved it. I loved it. And I thought, well, why don't I just switch his gills? Not his gills. I'm sorry. His spikes, his dorsal spikes, to Godzilla's and make them sort of go up his head a little bit. so that he goes from monster to kaiju, and so that's where this came from.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, man.
Thank you. And these are all done by hand because I work in Adobe Illustrator all day, like I said. And last thing I want to do is jump back on the computer. So I use a brush pen or a micron pen and recycle paper, and that's it. And if I add color, I'll scan it in and add color. But this was done with stippling dots as well. And I really regretted it at first because I was like, oh my God, this is going to take weeks. And it did. But I'm very happy with the way it came out. I thought, and I actually was going to do this traditionally, like just do a destroyer. And then the wings, I was like, because I was doing so many trees, I'm like, I'm going to make them kind of branch-like. And then it's sort of like a hybrid between a kaiju and a tree. It's kind of like traditional destroyer with like branch tendril wings.
So how long does like the dots take though? Like
these take a lot longer. I chip away at these at night when I'm done with work. So it's like 45 minutes here and an hour there, and they end up taking several weeks. So something like this is probably like 20 to 25 hours, but it's over time.
So do you have like the outline of it and then like you start filling it in the details inside? Like how does this work?
The way any artist is supposed to draw is to rough it out, sketch it out, get your base shapes, and then tighten it. But because I'm wired in a really weird way, I just start, like for this, I'll just start stamping. I go straight to tight, which is not what you're supposed to do. Don't do what I do if you're an artist. If you're training art, learning an art, you're training to be an artist, or you like art, don't do what I do. But basically, I will rough it out in the sense that like, I'll start on a wing here, and then I'll just sort of like I'll take it to the other wing and sort of put a few dots in, so I know like roughly like where it's going to end on the page, and then I'll fill it in. But I don't sketch it out first or anything like that, which I should. But I don't have I have the patience to do dots, but I don't have the patience to sketch anything. I'm really, like I said, I'm really wired weird, but
I mean, nothing wrong
methods
with that.
to my madness.
We're all mad here.
Yeah. So it works, and it works for me, and because I have to be so technical with my job, and like I said, I love it. Everything has to be like perfectly on model. But when I do this stuff, the gloves come off, and I just the technicality goes out the door, and I just sort of just let it take me where it's going to take me. And if the branch, like I did a Form 3 of Shin, where the branches I ended up tying them in knots, and that wasn't my intention. It's just sort of when I started wrapping, that's just what happened. So I just let the art, not to get philosophical, I just let the art take me where it's going to take me, and that's where it goes, because I don't have to be technical with it. Whereas I could sort of turn off like whoever's going to look at this, I hope they like it because I like it. I don't have to worry about like it's got a route to so and so and so and so, and there are no rules. And when you're doing tree textures, you can't have rules. You have to just run with it, and that's why I love it.
So, just to switch gears,
sure.
I see there's a lot of beautiful figures behind you.
Yes.
So, how did you start off collecting? How did
what
got you into
back to 2014
into the mayhem?
I used to collect a ton of stuff, non-Godzilla stuff, like a ton of McFarlane toys and Simpsons figures, and I'm not ashamed to say that I have an 80s Smurf collection that I will never part with ever. But basically in 2014, I just said, you know what? I really like that movie. Let me see what kind of Godzilla toys are out there. And I stumbled upon a little website called Kaiju Addicts. And boy, that was a mistake, because I was like, X Plus, what's this? And that was when the Diamond reissues first started. Like they started around 2014-ish, right? So I was like, and of course my knee-jerk was, what? I'm not paying that for these. I'm not paying that for these figures. They want how much? I'm not paying it. So I went to a local toy store by my house, and I got one. And it was I don't know if you can see it, but I got the 2003 where he's got like the scar on his chest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
and
like
I opened
upright.
Yeah, he's like roaring upward. And I open, you know how X Plus, when you open up 30 centimeter figures, it's got that flap, and you open it, and then like you hear angels singing, and the lights come down. It's like, oh, and I open it, and my knee jerk was like, God damn it, because I was like, now I got to collect these, because it was literally like ripped right out of the movie.
Yeah.
So I got one, and then I got another, and then I got another, and then with the diamond stuff, I learned about within the community, like especially watching Rich and Leslie, I learned about, Hobby Search, Hobby Link, Ami Ami, and then I learned about Mandarake, and then it was like, oh boy.
A
So
whole new
I sold
world.
a lot of stuff. What's that?
A whole new world.
Yeah, exactly. So I sold a bunch of stuff, traded a bunch of stuff, gave away a bunch of stuff, and just started to. Oh, Leslie just wrote. What did he say? Oh, dude, I love Leslie Chambers so much. He is the best.
He's just hating in the chat. That's all he's doing.
Oh, the head is. Oh, you know what, Leslie? I heard AJ talk about the gigantic series.
The gigantic
Burning
burning Godzilla. The head sucks. I'm sorry.
That is my favorite figure in my collection.
Oh no!
But that's
All right.
listen, to each his own, right? You know what I love the most about that figure is, again, because I was talking about texture. That figure is the textures are cut so deep, and that's why I love it so much. Even if you look at the tongue, it's insane. And my favorite 30 centimeter is the 54 train biter. Again, I know it's
Yes.
stylized, but it's got the texture is cut so deep in that. And so that's why I love those figures so much. But yeah, so once I got one, I just kept getting another and another and another, and this is where I'm at. This is where we are now.
When you open that box, the bug came out and bit you. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
We've all been there.
I tell everyone, if you get when I was at my first G Fest, someone came on the elevator and he was like, I think it was the Sakai GMK. He was like, "This is my first X Plus." I said, "Oh boy." I looked at his mother. I said, "It's over. You're just gonna get that wallet ready, because it's I call it a Godzilla addiction. You get one, and then you need another one, another one, and another one. And as soon as you get one, they're so good. My knee jerk whenever I get a new X Plus is, oh my God, it's so great. I can't wait for the next one. I don't say, oh good, this will tie me over for a little while. I'm like, I can't wait for the next one to come out. Yeah. They ripped right out of the movie, and they walk right out of the screen. They're really fan. And you know this, AJ, Frank, you know this. These stuff behind me, photos, even if you go to Hobby Search, like those photos don't do these things justice. Like, right when you get it in your hand, it's a whole different ball game. So, but Frank, what's your favorite X Plus figure? I want to know what your favorite is in your entire collection.
I probably like the Ghidra Rick.
Oh, the one that has like the French flag, American flag. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. I don't have that one, but it's gorgeous figure. Yeah,
I love Ghidra and Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah. Amazing. AJ, what's your favorite? What's your favorite X Plus? I don't think I know the answer to this.
Absolute favorite X Plus.
Yeah. You got to pick one.
Oh man.
Didn't know I was going to be asking you the questions.
Yeah. I'm on the spot right now.
I'll jump back in. I'll say, when I did see the X Plus Destroyer, that was very impressive.
That is probably
I really like that.
The best figures they've ever made, because of the complexity of it. Because there's so much. You've got the scorpion tail, you've got the bones protruding, you've got the texture on the armor. I mean, there's so much. The gnarled shin-like teeth. There's so much going on with that figure. That is hands down one of the best figures they've ever made, in my opinion, without a doubt. So now that we've stalled for AJ, let's see what he's got.
I think if I had to pick just one to walk away with, it's probably, and people might be shocked here, it's probably going to be the gigantic Godzilla 2000 maquette Rick.
Oh, the 1999. But you're talking about.
It's the Sakai prototype version.
The prototype
that never made it into the movies. That's like my absolute favorite suit. That's never been in a movie.
Right, they changed it a little bit. Yeah.
And the orange fins, I just love it.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's a giant version of that they actually made and have it in a collection, it's probably that one. honestly, but
It's awesome. I have
it's
I have the standard, and I agree though that they both. I mean, the orange fins look great too.
the gigantic Mecha Godzilla that just came out too is just
Yeah,
literal
yeah,
perfection.
yeah. Yeah. The paint. I like that they painted it almost like the 75 because he looks more battle worn and rusted, and it's just flawless. 10 out of 10. It
Thank you,
was worth the
Kelly.
kidney that I had to sell to pay for the DHL shipping. What
Kelly
is?
just came down, brought me
Oh,
my cup of
so
coffee. It
cute.
says protect, attack, and take naps, and that's
Oh my god, so cute.
exactly
I
exactly
love
what I do
Grogu.
here.
I love me
Oh
some
yeah.
Grogu, that's for sure. One of the best shows on TV for
Oh
sure right
man.
now.
How many times have you watched the finale? I don't
I've
Dad,
only
have you even
seen it
you haven't
once.
even watched it, right? You
No,
only
no, I
seen
watched
it
the finale
once?
twice.
No.
I watched the finale twice, but I watched the finale once and then I watched the last 10 minutes of it again because I just had to.
Yeah,
It's just amazing.
No,
I've
I didn't see it yet.
I've
Oh,
probably watched
we won't say
yeah,
anything.
I've probably watched the he's not a big Star Wars guy.
You don't have to be.
I tried to get him to watch the original trilogy
Yeah,
because like he's only seen it in like bits and pieces. Like, no, come on, like we got to sit down, we got to do this. Like the
right.
original, like he just because Dad's into giant models and
Yeah.
sets, and it's like this.
Yeah, there's a lot of
This is
practical
like
effects that he
Godzilla
would.
in space.
Yeah. Right. I mean, there's a lot of practical stuff in there that he
Godzilla
would love.
in
I'm not a
space.
massive Star Wars guy. I do like it. I don't think I think The Mandalorian is the kind of show. If you've never heard of Star Wars in your life, you still love that show because
Yes.
it's got action, heart, humor, it's practical effects.
What?
It's just
Well,
great. And then if
that's exactly
fantastic,
me. I wasn't a big Star Wars guy, but
You can
The
I
Mandalorian
plugged in
was
the Bluetooth
amazing.
a
headset
good
upstairs
series.
if you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. If you've never even heard of Star Wars, it doesn't matter because you're just seeing the relationship between the characters is just fantastic. And I love that the show is like unassumingly hilarious. Like it
Yes.
cracks me up. It's not a comedy, but I'm dying. It's so
It
funny.
it just hits on every note.
Yep,
Like
yep.
it
And
hits
it
and it does enough like fanfare, but not so much where like it gets corny. I guess is the
no,
right
not at
way to
all.
describe.
Not at all.
Because
Yeah,
sometimes people sometimes in movies they do things to appease the fans, or then sometimes you have something like Game of Thrones where I don't know what they did. Um,
or 98 where they crap on the fans. But go ahead.
oh yeah, I I still remember being at was that New York Con, the New Yorker hotel? It was one of the cons, and like they had like the original drawing by was it Patrick Tatopoulos,
Yeah.
and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is gonna be Godzilla, and I was just a kid then. We're all like in there in the room, and we're like, that's Godzilla.
No,
Like,
it's
what
not.
is that? And
No, it isn't.
everyone in the room was all like, "No, they're not going to do that. There's no way. They
Right.
can't. That can't be the
Yeah.
final design."
Toho's not going to approve that.
Yeah, and
Well,
then
that's the biggest gripe
woo.
I have. I mean, I can't believe they approved that. I mean, I too blamed them somewhat for
I mean,
that design.
I always say this. It's still the highest grossing Godzilla movie of all time.
That's shocking. Shocking.
I think Shin just beat it, but I mean,
Really.
until then, yeah.
Wow.
Which is
That's
just
shocking.
so wild.
It is wild. It's just not. I can't.
All
We'll,
right,
we'll
so-
be here. I know we have to stop at 10:30. We'll be here till midnight if we start talking about
Well-
98.
Well, back to the stylized Burning Godzilla.
Yeah.
Since Leslie's still in the chat, and I just got to egg him on. So you're telling me that if you
Yeah.
were to look at that figure behind you, and then the
Yeah.
30 centimeter next to it, the 30 centimeter isn't a better sculpt?
Well, the 30 centimeter is suit accurate, but the gigantic is stylized, right? So you have to
Yeah.
look at it that way. So if you're hung up on like it's got to be suit accurate, it's got to be film accurate, it's got to be screen accurate, then yes, the 30 is a better sculpt.
All right.
But if you're talking about like texturing and detail and how you could look at the gnarled teeth on that head and the texture on that tongue and tell me it is, I'm going to quote you because I remember this episode and I was like, what? The worst head sculpt ever.
Oh, yes.
And so
I said
I enjoy both. I love both, but I like when the textures are cut super deep. So
I love the to give the figure some love. One, I
Yeah.
love extra like thick figures. So
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah,
it gets extra thicker than that guy. But the paint app on that with the like we have like the translucent one, the
yeah,
translucent paint app. It's which is very similar to like the new Sakai Burning Godzilla that came out.
yeah.
Um,
I have the standard of that. I should have gone Rick on that one, but that was a big mistake on my part because the Sakai uh, Burning Godzilla, like I think Rick was the only way to go because when I got the standard, it's beautiful,
Let's
but
go.
the translucent,
we
you
can
need
go
the
to
translucent
Yeah,
orange
that
for
one.
sure.
yeah, no, it's the trans, and then they perfected it on the Sakai. Yeah,
I'm trying, Leslie. I'm trying, man. Help me out though.
but
We'll get him back on track.
I do want to show off. I was actually going to kick off the show with this, but I, sillily enough, didn't actually have it
Hello
on
to
my
the
computer.
chat, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Um,
everyone in the chat, thank you so much for being here. And if you watch the show after this when it's not live, still thank you so much for watching this. I really really appreciate it. But I'm sorry, AJ, I totally
no,
cut
no
you
problem.
off.
So Gordon just asked me, what am I drinking? I'm actually just drinking coffee, guys. There's nothing, not spiked, just regular coffee. I
People
swear.
always assume the worst of you, AJ.
Well, I mean, they're usually right. All right. So, um, when Giuseppe asked to do the live chat, and of course I agreed. Daddy, okay?
I'm slipping.
Dad's trying to find where the mouse is. It's amazing. I think he
Stop
found it.
picking on Frank.
Oh, it's part of the show.
Yeah.
What happened?
Dad.
Just show me how to do it.
I am. You gotta go up here.
Oh, okay.
It's this one, and then just hit one.
Okay. Okay.
David Dobgo,
Dave,
what up?
I'll keep
there's
an eye
another
on the
guy.
chat.
David is another
Um,
guy that is one of the nicest people in this community who I met on Instagram. And when I approached him at G Fest, was just one of the most down to earth, kindest people you could ever meet. And super talented, not just kaiju photographer. His toy shots are insane. And as soon as you look at it, you know that it's his.
Mhm.
But his regular photography is just phenomenal. And he's an amazing model kit builder, which is something I can never even attempt. So
which speaking of,
yeah, he just did a 64 for you, right?
yes, the KOC 40 centimeter
Oh my
64, which is
gosh.
actually why I sold my gigantic 64, which Leslie got on the
Right.
show. Stop it! I'm trying to do something. Jeez, Dad keeps taking it. All right, so when Giuseppe was asking about doing a live chat, he then sent me this incredible care package, and the first thing in here, if anyone doesn't know, Abby absolutely loves her puppy King Caesar. So here is an incredible New Year's gift. Who's this, Abby? Who's that?
Oh my gosh, she's
Yeah.
so cute.
Oh,
So
gentle,
cute.
gentle. We got to get this one framed. Look what it says. It says, for Abby,
See, that just makes
Happy
it all
New
worth
Year.
it, AJ.
And that's amazing piece.
Happy
too.
New Year.
Oh, thank you so much.
I love that
don't
one. I really do.
I,
That's
Happy New
good.
Year.
I don't sell that one, but I know Abby loves the puppy. And I was like, I'm just gonna print this out for her and put it in the package. So I'm glad she likes it. She's a doll. And you're a good father, AJ, getting her started on kaiju at this early age.
Oh yeah,
That's what you gotta do.
Kelly's so excited about it. So excited that she loves. Well, you don't have Facebook, so you didn't see this.
No, I didn't see it.
Just last week, we were having breakfast, and then Abby just flat out says like, "I want to watch Godzilla," and like
Nice.
Kelly's face when she said it, like her soul just like
She was
left her
like,
body.
"Oh,
She was like, "No, this
another
is how
one in
it
the house."
starts. I lost. Yeah, the battle's already over."
Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's right. That'll be your thing, right? It'll be.
No way.
Yeah, I swear, she was singing the song.
Did everyone hear that? Were you able to hear that?
I did hear King Caesar song just now.
Kelly just said that when she was brought Abby up to bed, because that's where she has her little Godzilla collection of D4 reels up there. She wanted to play with King Caesar, and then was apparently singing the King Caesar song.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
We're
All right, well let me put Kelly's mind at ease. Kelly can hear me, right?
No, Kelly can't hear you. She
Okay. Well,
is
you could
not.
tell her this. Uh, my daughter's 14, and she loves this stuff. Loved this stuff for a long time. And then when she hit like 13, she stepped away from it. Uh, I know she's going to come back to it eventually in my
Yes.
heart. So tell your wife it's just for a while, and then as she gets older, she'll step away from it because maybe it won't be cool, but then she'll come back to it, and it will be
Yeah.
your thing. It'll be a thing that you like Frank, what you have with your son, right? This love, this bond that you have with your love of kaiju. AJ's gonna have that.
Yeah.
AJ's gonna have that with his daughter. So it's a
No,
beautiful
I
thing.
know.
It's a good thing.
It's a special thing. It is.
It is absolutely.
I
Especially
love
when
that.
it's something not in the not in the mainstream. It's not like Little League or Boy Scouts or
Right.
something. This is something
Right.
that's
It's a niche. It's a
little
niche
on the
thing.
fringe.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to
But
have a
it's just
niche
as
thing
cool.
between you guys. It's fantastic. It's just beautiful. So
I love that she, because of like Godzilla and my collection in general, because like I have like Predator and Alien and like Terminator stuff. She always gravitated to Predator, so she's like not afraid of anything, like
That's
monsters and
great.
stuff.
Yeah,
Like
she's
I can.
desensitized. That's good.
We were watching Aliens. Like Dad had never seen Alien or Aliens, so I was like,
Oh wow.
like I was going on
Yeah.
like a trip with Dad. I was like,
I'm watching
Yeah.
like this.
we need to watch these. So she's like watching it with us, because like and then when it would get like to a bloody part, we cover her eyes.
Yeah, sure, of course.
But the jump scare stuff, she doesn't even flinch.
She's
Nothing.
desensitized, yeah, because that's why my daughter loves horror
Like,
movies.
it's
'Cause I got her
crazy.
started on monster movies, and now when someone slashes someone with a knife, she's just like ho hum, But that's a good. I listen. I know it was a different time, but I probably saw Friday the 13th. I was probably 10 years old when I saw that, and I think I turned out okay. So it's fine. It's fine. Get that bond with her. It's a great thing.
I don't know what that was. Yeah, I can't even remember. I don't even know like my first Godzilla memory. I don't even. I just feel like I've always liked Godzilla. I don't. I don't know what it even was.
Well, it started at a young age, right? So you don't remember that exact moment. Maybe you were 5, 6 years old, and
I just
you remember
the
like
first toy.
No, I'm sorry.
The first
The first
toy.
toy. Oh,
It
well,
all
yeah,
starts
that's
with
where-
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Right, dinosaurs and robots, and then you get to Godzilla.
Right.
But the very first toy was Bandai. I can't say Bondi. People get upset.
Well, why? Let's talk
Bandai
about
Gigan.
that for a minute.
It's
You're
just
saying it that look, Biolante, Biolante,
oh, I know.
Biolante,
I mean,
Hedra, Hedora, whatever. First of all, you're saying it in Japan. Don't they say Bandai in Japan?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So then
but
you're actually
granted,
saying it the right way.
that was
right?
completely on accident. We didn't.
Well, no.
We
I
weren't
mean,
like,
try and
yes.
stay authentic to the
Yeah.
Technically,
the
you guys
roots
are
of the
right.
company.
So don't
I
let
mean-
people correct you.
I think it's the charm of the show that Dad and I pretty much pronounce
Bless you.
90% of everything wrong. So I might as well just keep going with it.
Oh my God! You know what? People need to chill because technically you're right, and these monsters and toy brands all have different pronunciations. But I cut you off. You were saying the Bandai Gigan.
8-inch Gigan.
There you go, your boy. Yeah.
We had found in a up in Pennsylvania, like in a mall. There was like this toy store in
Oh,
a
wow.
mall, and they had like all these Bandai figures, and that was the first one, and that was it. That was me opening the X Plus thing, because then
Right.
as a kid, then we found a place close to us on Long Island, Fourth World Comics. I don't know if you've ever been out there in
Oh,
Smithtown.
I've never heard that. Never
No?
heard of
Oh.
that. No,
They're still
wow.
there. Yeah, they're still kicking around.
I gotta look that up.
But they used to have so much Godzilla stuff. And now, now they still, they occasionally have some X pluses and all that. But
Cool.
now I want to move on to something that I also really love that you somehow incorporated into Godzilla.
Okay.
And that is the Muppets.
Oh.
And so I have to know. I have to know how this came
Okay.
to be.
So the story behind this is, for years. I mean, Frank, how many times have people said to you, sometimes from certain angles, especially in the Showa era, Godzilla looks like he looks googly-eyed like Cookie Monster, or he looks like
Right.
a Muppet like Kermit the Frog. You've heard that quite a few times, right? Especially the 62, even though I love the 62 suit.
67 is pretty much called Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, 67
Exactly.
is basically
67
Kermit,
is Kermit, right? Exactly. So I've seen a lot of artists do renditions and their interpretation of like Godzilla as Cookie Monster, either in a sculpture or in a drawing. And I've seen Kermit the Frog stuff. So I thought, you know what? Fozzie is my favorite Muppet. As corny as he is, but that's what makes him so funny. To me, like
Waka waka waka.
waka waka, the 64, the 68, their muzzles kind of remind me of Fozzie. So I looked at those and I said, I'm going to do a Muppet Godzilla, but I'm not going to do what everyone else is doing. I'm going to do Fozzie Bear. So that's what I did. And then I thought, you know what? Even more obscure than that, I think Ralph the dog does not get enough love. That's all I'm saying. So the Prince of Freddy Shin. Yes, Freddy Shin is in my Etsy store. So if you go to Kaiju Sketches on Instagram, just click on the link. But thank you so much for asking.
I might be able to drop that link in the chat. 1 second.
Great.
But
Great.
We gotta
But
go.
thank you, Christopher. I'm glad you're interested in that. Yes, so I thought, you know what? Ralph doesn't get enough love.
Yeah,
So
well,
then
and which is weird
there
because
he
he's the first Muppet.
He's the thank you. Everyone
Like,
thinks it's Kermit, but
No,
he was on the
he's
Jimmy Dean show.
he's the first Muppet, and
Right. And he's hilarious, and plays the piano. He's so funny to me, and I love his design. So my thing was I'm just gonna do him with like the Millennium 99 2000 dorsal plates. And then when I started doing his ears, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna push this and do him as a kaiju Muppet kaiju tree. It's gonna be surreal and weird, and no one's gonna get it, but let's just do it. And so I did it, and I love the way it turned out. Thank you so much.
And then there's another.
So it all started from people saying Cookie Monster and Kermit, and I'm like, I'm going to do my versions of it.
And then there's this, which is just, I don't know whether this is like terrifying or cute. It like really,
It's both.
it
Why
like
can't it be
blends.
both?
It blends the line of, I don't know if Winnie the Pooh is about to die.
No, they're friends. They're saying hi to each other.
Either does he.
Okay, you know
Yeah.
what? That Shin tree is not actually alive. It's just a tree, so it's fine. Pooh is fine. Actually,
Fair enough,
when I looked at the Baragon that I did, a lot of Winnie the Pooh backgrounds are watercolor painted, and they're beautiful. So I have a Winnie the Pooh book, and I was looking at and the tree designs in all of the Winnie the Pooh cartoons are gorgeous. So I actually referenced that when I was painting up the Baragon tree. So when I did this Shin Godzilla tree, I'm like, oh, well, wouldn't it be funny if like this tree was in 100 Acre Wood and Winnie the Pooh was there? Why not? I try to think of my stuff as like someone said Geigen Gonzo. I did think of that. That's very clever, very funny, and it might happen someday. So thank you for that. But yeah, I thought, why not do it? I like to think of my art as just like this crazy sort of surreal fantasy art in its own way. So why not have Winnie the Pooh in 100 Acre Wood? There's Rodan. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, man. Go ahead, talk about this. This is incredible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like the flowers as the veins inside the wings, like it's just wild, man.
Thank you. So I wanted to do a Rodan tree. So I was studying like the 64 and the 68 suit, which are very similar. And I thought, you know what? Why don't we incorporate some cherry blossoms? Because Japanese cherry blossom trees are beautiful. And this doesn't look like a cherry blossom tree at all, but let's put cherry blossoms in it. Why not? Again, like the weirder, the better when it comes to this stuff. I try not to stay shackled, when I do this stuff. So I know it doesn't make any sense, but it's just fun to me. So this one, could you guys tell what I was going for here? Because not everyone can tell.
Oh,
it's a little tricky.
Now that that's actually his arms and then like his spikes.
Right, I wanted
cracked
to do
shell
like
becomes the space.
Yeah, like a Godzilla silhouette. Thank you.
I was literally just about to say, and this is like a normal one, and then it ends up not being.
Nothing's normal in my head, but yeah. So basically, I wanted to do this. My daughter gets credit for also. She's like, Dad, you should do a Mecha Godzilla tree. And I said, I'm not going to do that because he's a robot. So you can't do robot with tree bark. That's ridiculous. And then I thought about it. And then I thought, well, the more ridiculous, the better. I have to do it. So she gave me the idea for this. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to make his finger cannons just go crazy and wrap and twist and make it into this organic thing. And I think it works. I hope it works. It was fun. So this was my thank you to Michael Dougherty. Did you see this movie? Did you see Trick or Treat? Frank, are you a horror fan? Frank's not a horror fan, right?
No.
That's
okay.
the like watches them like this or just says,
right.
I got something else to do. I've actually never seen this movie in its entirety, but I know the character. And
so
I know
here's what's gonna happen.
Michael Dougherty.
Next Halloween, Frank, I want you to take some of those amazing chocolate cocoa bombs that Kelly makes because they look incredible. All right.
Yes.
You're gonna heat up some milk and you're gonna sit down with your son and you're gonna watch Trick or Treat because it is one of the best. It's not scary. I promise you. It's not.
It's like
not
Krampus, right? Because I love
Krampus.
Yeah,
it's just a fun. It's almost like a dark comedy almost, you know. And this character, this Sam character, is seen throughout. He's sort of like the thread with there's all these different. It's an anthology of different stories that take place in one town in one night. And it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And so when Michael Dougherty directed 2019, he did a really great job in giving us like homages and throwbacks and winks and nods and Easter eggs to all these past kaiju films. I'm like, I'm going to do Sam with Godzilla's dorsal plates. And in the movie, he's got a lollipop that's a jack-o'-lantern with a bite out of it. So that's why I did a Mothra lollipop instead.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you. So yeah, and then what he got on Instagram, actually Jeremy Souls of Summit Kaiju was kind enough to share this on his Twitter and showed me that Michael Dougherty liked it. So that was really cool. That was really exciting.
That's great.
Yeah, it was really exciting for me. I just wanted to get his eyes on it. You know what I mean? So this was my thank you to him. So
yeah, no,
he
seems like a really cool guy because I've seen like some of his interactions on Twitter, and he's not afraid to interact with fans and
yeah. Well, he's a fan. He's a fan. Like he's a nerd like us. So
yeah,
he
really is. I mean, I feel like Legendary handicapped him a little bit with the movie.
Oh, I'm sure. You know, a lot of this stuff is filmed by committee, right? So he's probably got all these people. Change this, change that. Our focus group and demographic research shows this. Do this. Put that in the movie. He was shackled, I'm sure, and couldn't do what he wanted, but he still got to give us some really great throwbacks and Easter eggs. So the human story wasn't great, but I still love the movie. It's still a lot of fun.
There you go, Dad. I'm sure you like that.
So, yeah, this was the third
that's cool.
one that I did. I call it Treedora. What do you think, Frank?
I love it.
It's like clever, right? Thank you. No, my stupid joke was clever. I don't know that the art is clever, but thank you. I'm glad that you like it. But yeah, this was the third one that I did. And what happened was at my first G-Fest, I took this one and a couple of others. And I want to reach out to IDW to do variants. Oh, thank you so much, Mike.
Yeah, man. Give it a shot. Why not?
Yeah, it can't hurt. It never hurts to ask, right? But
that's
thank
right.
you, Mike. That's really
IDW is back in the game, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. But I was giving out these as postcards at my first G-Fest. And Lenny Romero, if you don't know his work, do you know his work? Do you know who Lenny is?
I do not.
Okay, so when we're done, go to Lenzations, Lenzations.
Okay.
The dude is like gifted. It's basically like he does I have his art hanging up, but it's over there. He does these it's almost like photorealistic pencil drawings. That's the best way to describe it. You're gonna be blown away. You're gonna send me a text and be like, thank you for telling me to look at his art. So him and Dope Pope came up to me when I was handing out these postcards, and they're like, you got a table next year at G-Fest. So they convinced me to get a table there. Those are the two guys I credit with that. But it all started from handing out these Ghidra and Mothra postcards at G-Fest.
Awesome.
This guy, do you want to talk about this guy?
Absolutely. Frankenstein.
Because I feel like I'm
64?
rambling. Am I talking too much?
No,
Frankengoji.
No, go ahead.
That's right. Thank you. This one took a long time. I wanted to do a Boris Karloff Frankenstein. So I thought he's going to look ridiculous with that suede jacket. But I had so much fun doing the texture on that coat. and doing like all the stitching. I wanted to make it look like he was stitched up, like on the dorsal. Why would the dorsal plates be stitched up? I don't know, because it looks cool. So I did that, and it was a lot of fun. So I wanted it because that's one of the greatest horror films of all time too. I know it doesn't follow the book, but the Boris Karloff Frankenstein is just fantastic. So I love that movie. So I like just putting these things together.
This is awesome.
Thank you. So I studied all three
Zoom in
Heisei Gamera. I use a lot of photo reference if I don't have the figures. And so I looked at mostly 1999 for this one, but I did look at 95 and 96. And this was one of the ones, because of his shell, I'm like, I got to put some color in this. So I wanted to make this a colored version. And again, his hands were fun to do because I'm like, I'm just going to go. I might have even, I think I messed up his fingers, and I'm like, who cares? Just keep going. And I just, it doesn't matter. That's the thing with this stuff. It doesn't, there is no right or wrong when you're doing branches and leaves. And that's kind of like my brain gets unshackled and I just run with it. So,
Nice.
yes. Legendary monster.
Having Mothra as like a hummingbird. Oh my! Right, is that? Am I right on that? Is that what that's supposed to be?
It's. Did you say Mothra? Is that what you said?
Mothra as a hummingbird.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. And if you notice, it's always. I don't know if anyone notices this, so I'm going to point it out. It always bugs me on the Legendary Monster vs. Godzilla that he has no like skull bone really. Like his head just goes into his neck, right? Even on the 2014 version. So I kind of put like a little bit of I'm pointing at the screen like an idiot, but I kind of gave him like a little bit of a skull, and I made his head a little bigger because that's just what I wanted to do.
Yeah, you don't want the baby head.
Yeah, the baby head. And so and then I kind of treated him traditionally like the movie, tweaking a few things on his head. And I thought to make him scarier, I gave him that GMK eye, where you don't see his pupils. Mike Bayer says, is Brian Boland? Oh, I love Brian Boland. The Killing Joke was one of my favorite comics of all time. That's one of those comics that I read and reread and reread. So yeah, he's definitely a huge influence.
Did you ever see the animated version? That was.
I have not, and I want to see it because I love Mark Hamill. Did you see it?
Yes.
What'd you think?
You
didn't? Okay. I guess I won't watch it.
Well, no, because they get a lot of it right. One question before we get into, because I'm probably gonna ramble for a second.
That's all right. You're allowed to ramble.
Are all of these on? As Dad would know, are all of these available on the Etsy page?
Yes.
Or is it just what's there?
Thank you, Donna. They are all. Yeah, they're all of these are there. Yeah, and if there's something on my Instagram that's not in the Etsy shop, just send me a DM. Because I have, I get these professionally printed, but I do have a really good printer at home. So if there's something like a one-off that you want that it's not in my Etsy store, like if it's a portrait, I can just, run it off and print it for you. So just send me a message if you don't see it in my Etsy shop. But most of these are there. But, here's Con. But you were going to go on. You were going to talk about The Killing Joke.
The Killing Joke, they add a dimension to that movie that doesn't need to be added. I don't know if you are familiar with the animated series. There was always that weird romance between Batgirl and Batman, Barbara and Bruce. Like they never really went with it, but it was always in a couple scenes here and there. Well, they fully went because Bruce Timm came back and like was part of The Killing Joke, the movie.
Okay.
And he went full on with that fantasy that I guess he kept having for no reason.
And probably didn't work well in the context of a cartoon.
Well, a lot of the animated cartoons are, I wouldn't really say for kids anyway.
Right. The DC
it's actually
stuff,
it's actually funny. One of my best friends, because he's not really, he doesn't really read the comics. He knows the characters and stuff, but his daughter at the time liked Harley Quinn, Batgirl. So she saw Batgirl was on it, so he put that on and was like texting me, and I was like, "Dude, shut that off right now."
The comic is not appropriate.
No, the comic's not appropriate, and then the X-rated scene between Batman and Batgirl is also not appropriate. That happens
wasn't
reason.
Even in the comic. That's not even in the comics.
Happens. Yeah, they were like, "Hey, we need to add 15 more minutes. What do you want to do?" Oh. Throw in a sex scene, of course.
Let's do let's do bat porn. That's a good filler.
Honestly, it just didn't make any sense. I don't know what they thought, that if that was supposed to be some kind of like empowering I have no idea. It just didn't work on any level, especially from her perspective. And then even as like Batman, it's like, dude, that's your like stepson's girlfriend forever. Like,
right.
how
But it's
terrible
all-
of a human are you?
You can't even say that they were trying to push like so that you would feel more remorse when like the Joker does what he does to her, because everybody loves Batgirl. You don't need her to have a relationship with Batman. It's just that doesn't make any sense to me.
I know her becoming Oracle is significant enough,
right?
and a big part of her character. Yeah, you didn't need to just whimsically throw that out. You should just watch it so you can just be like, and then turn it off. Go, this is why. But everything else is actually pretty good. I mean,
yeah, okay.
They get a lot of the stuff right. It's just that one part sticks out so much because it's just so out there.
I heard bad things about it. That's why I just was like, But
yeah, well,
but
you haven't watched Wonder Woman yet. We've discussed.
I know. That's another one that I was dying to see it, and then I heard from 90% of the fandom that it sucked, and I was like, I don't have 2.5 hours to wait, so maybe I'll just hold off on that one.
Oh my God, Mike's killing it tonight. Killing Joke Brazers edition.
Oh God,
my goodness,
that's crazy.
So speaking of, since we got Kong on the screen here,
yep.
I'm sure you've seen the 3-second highlight.
Yeah.
Or I guess we might as well just call that the trailer at this point. I honestly don't think we're getting anything more. I think that's all we're gonna get. What'd you think? What do you think of the?
Okay, so you're all right. This is what I heard. This is what you're saying. You're saying what do you think? But what I hear you asking is, who do I think is going to win? Is that what you're asking?
Let's do both. What do you think of the? What do you think of the clip? And then who do you think is going to win?
All right. So I really wish they would give us some sort of. I agree with you, AJ. They don't have to give us a full blown trailer, but give us like a 60-second teaser. Give us something. But it was really. This is going to sound corny. It was really. We all knew that Kong was going to punch Godzilla in the face, but to see it actually happen was like a little unsettling. But I think the effects are going to be good. I think even if the story sucks, it'll be a fun romp. It'll just be a fun monster movie. I think. All right. So who do I want? I'm going to tell you who I'm rooting for, and then who I think is going to win, because those are two different answers. We would not have the 54 Godzilla if it wasn't for the 1933 King Kong. So I love both monsters. With that said, look behind me. I'm rooting for Godzilla, right? Although I do have the starriest Kong up there. I'm rooting for Godzilla. I hope he wins. But at the end of the day, money talks. It's Hollywood. Kong Skull Island made more money than 2014. It made more money than 2019. I think Kong is going to win. That's my.
So you think he's going to win in the sense that actually Godzilla dies?
No. I think he'll just beat him. Maybe, I don't know if he'll knock him unconscious or pound him into submission, or Godzilla will just sort of give. Well, I hope he doesn't give up. But I don't think Toho would let him. Could you imagine? Toho, yeah, he'll tap out.
Yeah.
Will Toho let him die? I mean, that would be horrible. Look, I'm a cornball. This is what I want. I want them to have a scuffle. It's a draw, and then they team up. I know that's cliche. It's been done to death.
I mean, I think that's what's going to happen. Honestly,
that's what I want to happen.
I think there's going to be 3 fights. There's going to be
Cobra Kai.
It's Cobra Kai. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, one good guy, one bad guy. Then maybe they're both bad guys, and then they're actually both good guys.
It's like wrestling.
But then and then Godzilla whispers in Kong's ear, "I respect you."
Yeah.
And then they go off and they fight someone else. But I'm sorry. Go ahead. What do you think?
Well, I think there's gonna be 3 fight scenes. There's gonna be one where Godzilla wins, one where Kong wins, and then I don't want to. Does everyone know who shows up? Whatever. Something else is gonna.
That's what they should do. Round 1, round 2, and then they team up. That would be perfect.
But I don't know. I've said it before. I struggle to see why they'd fight other than it's just the simple alpha predator thing. But going back to the clip, I mean, Godzilla should be dead.
Yeah, well, we were talking about how Kong's fist is bigger than his head. Than
his fist
Godzilla's
is
head.
bigger than his head. I mean, it looks like his head explodes when he gets hit.
Yeah, it turns so fast that it gets blurry and it looks like it's exploding. It's crazy.
I mean, so
Frank, who's gonna win, Frank?
What do you got?
Frank's gonna call it, and whatever Frank says, that's it. Who's gonna win?
Okay, well, I do have privy to the script.
Oh yeah.
So here we go.
who do you? Well, who?
No, actually, I would think it's in Legendary's best interest to have Kong win.
To continue
to
the
keep doing
Monsterverse
movies
through
and
him,
monsters.
because Toho takes the rights back, right?
Right, because Godzilla's going back.
Right.
But
I think that's smart.
I would think they're not going to send Godzilla away as a loser, so it would have to be some kind of double team at the end.
Yeah.
For the good of the world, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever,
I hope so.
You know.
I think that would be great. I mean, I think it would be great. I think
that would be cool too, you know.
It would be cool to have them team up and against a bigger foe. I mean, that would be awesome. Imagine like Kong like holding, I don't know, whoever he's going to be holding while Godzilla atomic breaths him, and they almost turns into like a show a tag team match kind of thing, or handicap match.
Oh man,
that would be amazing.
He does the slide. Could you imagine? They redo the slide. Oh, now I'm excited.
That would be fun. I would love it. I don't know who else would love it, but I would certainly love it. But yeah, I don't know. I never understood. Look, I'm a Godzilla guy, but I never understood when someone says it's going to be a cakewalk for him and Kong's the underdog. I don't think there is an underdog. I mean, Kong's got. Yeah, okay, atomic breath aside, right? Godzilla's got the atomic breath. He's got impenetrable hide. He's got his tail and all that. And they're both very intelligent in the Monsterverse. But then you look at Kong's, like, think about the ferocity and intelligence of a giant gorilla with those size arms and those size fists and that reach and length. And the way he fought like an MMA fighter in Skull Island when he was only a teenager. And then tell me he's the underdog. They're both evenly matched. So
yeah, I think everyone just goes like even just Fire Breath alone. I think everyone just goes, oh well, Godzilla's just bigger. You know, Godzilla. You know, everyone points to. There's always been those comic strips of like, you know, Godzilla stepping on Kong and all that. Which obviously, if it's 54 versus 33, yeah, that's what happens.
Right. But why would they make them? Why would they not make them the same size? Which they did. Which is what they should do.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they also hinted at, like you said, they hinted at that in Skull Island that he's a teenager, so you knew he was going to get bigger.
They literally said he's still growing.
The people that can't accept that he's the same height or roundabouts, because it looks like he's like really jumping up to get. He's really putting a falcon punch in there.
Right.
You know, it's just like he's big. Just deal with it. I don't know. The only thing that I'll get mad at, I'm gonna get really mad if they give him lightning powers.
That would be a little too.
Because that's one of the things that I hate from the original movie.
Yeah.
Because it didn't make any sense, especially that it hurt Godzilla. To me, even as a kid, I was like,
that doesn't make sense at all.
It should actually power him up. I don't get it. You know, if he wants to throw if he throws like Hadouken balls out, I actually think that would be cool. That'd make more sense. But I don't know.
But they got to do the tree homage to the tree in the mouth. I mean, they got to do that.
Oh yeah, that has to happen.
They got to give us that, especially because he used the tree in Skull Island, so he's got to. He's got to do it.
If they don't do that, but yet even in that 3-second clip, you can have Godzilla jumping out of the water onto an aircraft carrier, and it stays afloat with him and Kong on it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just you better do the freaking tree thing.
Right.
Don't tell me that's not realistic enough, okay? Like
exactly. We gotta suspend disbelief.
Watch out, Russia.
We
gotta carry it like that.
Suspend disbelief and just hope that they do take it. Like you, AJ, you were saying, just go Showa and go silly. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
You know, do it. Do it. I'm fine with it.
Dad, you got any more questions before we do have a giveaway? Giuseppe wanted to do a giveaway.
Get into that. I'm excited to learn about this.
Okay. Absolutely.
I know.
You tell me.
I know the
when
question.
You're ready.
Well, I gotta find it. It wasn't in the folder you sent me.
Oh,
so
crap.
I gotta pull it up. I think it wasn't. Hold on.
Oh no. Well, I have it right here, so I can just show it.
Look at that. I'm gonna put you get you full screen. Hold on a second. All right, man. Take it away.
All right, cool. So the Baragon tree that I drew, that AJ showed you earlier, that was all colored with the watercolor background, that actually was drawn. Baragon was drawn by hand, and this is the actual original. Let's see if I can get it close to the camera. This is the
There you go.
original ink drawing. Like
Perfect.
this is the actual drawing that I drew by hand with a brush pen on recycled paper. So this is one of a kind. Even if I was selling black and whites, this is still the original one of a kind. So I'm going to give this away to a lucky recipient who answers this question, first person to answer this question properly. And if you follow my Instagram, you should know the answer.
Hold
to
on.
this question.
Actually, before you start,
Yep.
if anyone wants to answer this and you just want to make sure you're caught up with lag, we'll come back in like 30 seconds, exit out of YouTube, come back in.
Right.
So everything's fresh. Make sure you're up to date. So in 30 seconds, we'll redo the question because I would hate for some people to, because sometimes it's difficult to tell that you're not watching it live.
Right.
Bill C's got an answer already.
Yeah, Bill C says the answer is 41. Is that the correct answer?
That is, you got it. No, that's not it. That's the wrong. That's not the answer.
What's his favorite Godzilla?
Good guess though.
Oh.
So you guys ready for the? Let me know when you're ready for the question.
Okay. Todd's giving me. As a Star Wars fan, I learned 20 years ago not to say things like "they better have this." Fair enough.
True.
But all right, man, take it away.
Okay, so I did an Instagram video where I talked about like what Godzilla means to me and why he's so important to me and why I love this stuff so much. And in that video, I mentioned something, and this is the question: what is? And AJ is going to watch the chat for me.
I got it. Yep.
Cool, thank you. What is my favorite Godzilla movie of all time? So AJ, let me know if any, and if people keep guessing wrong, I'll give you a hint. But let's not do the hint yet.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to pull up the chat on my phone and see if I can see.
All right, so we have a couple here. I'll put them on the screen for you.
Okay, that
So, yeah.
oh great. That's not it, but I do love 85.
We got 85. We got Shin.
Oh, Shin's a masterpiece, but that's not it.
Godzilla vs. Destroyer.
Oh, another great movie, but that's not it.
GMK.
Another great movie. Shout out to Leslie and Sandra. I know that's one of their favorites, but no, that's not it. I love Son of Godzilla, but that's not it. But I do love that movie. Even though AJ doesn't, I love Godzilla 2000. My daughter's favorite Godzilla movie, actually, but that's not it.
David?
Monster Zero. Oh,
No?
David, I love that. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna drop a quick hint and say that it is a Showa film.
Godzilla vs.
Godzilla
Bambi.
versus Bambi. That's a short, so we got to talk about movies.
We got 64.
Leslie's favorite movie, 64.
Mine as well.
Yours too, right? 54 is brilliant, masterpiece, but that's
Oh,
54
wait.
might be.
I think we have it.
That is Steve. I hope I'm pronouncing this. Zadell. Godzilla versus the Smog Monster.
Just double checking. That's the first one in there.
That is the correct answer. I know
It
it's
is.
not- All right, congratulations, Steve. So, Steve, send me a message on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, then you can reach out to AJ and he'll give me your info. But if you are on Instagram, just send me a message and I will sign this and ship it out to you this week. Congratulations! Thank you, everyone, for participating. Yeah, that was fun.
Attaboy, Steve
I loved
Z.
all those movies. I loved every single one of those movies. There wasn't even one of those that I was like, well, I don't like that one. I love them all. I love them all. If someone would have said 98, I would have just canceled the whole giveaway. Before I go, I want to show you guys. I do have my sketch pad here. I would like to show you what I'm working on, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
let me. I'll put you full screen. Hold on a second.
Cool. I don't know if you guys have seen the. I really collect mostly X Plus, and that's it. But McFarlane, I used to collect McFarlane toys a long time ago, but not anymore, just because I don't have the room. But they recently came out with a line of toys called Raw 10 figures. Have you guys seen it? Basically they're like cybernetic animals, and they're
It's
really
like
really
the
neat.
Cygor and like the Anaconda. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, they're incredible, and they're like dirt cheap. I don't know.
Yeah, they're like 20
You,
bucks, right? Something
yeah,
like
they're
that.
20. It's the two of them are 10 and two of them are 20, and they're insane. They're almost X plus quality. So go to Walmart.com and just like look at them, and then you could tell me you don't want these figures. They're amazing. But they really, I love like the whole cybernetic cables and wires that they have running throughout the figures. And I thought, what if I got my friend here, one of the best Mechagodzilla designs. I mean, I love all the Mechagodzilla designs, but so if you look at Kiryu, he's got these cables running down his neck, and he's got these cybernetic cords running down his ankles. I thought, what if we ripped off his metal plates and all you saw was that wiring like underneath? And that's just a thought I had based on the McFarlane figures. And then I looked at Shin Godzilla on my shelf, and he's very veiny and wiry, and I know he looks like charred veins to me. So I thought that could be fun. So what I started to work on here, I hope you guys can see it. I doing like this cybernetic sort of
Oh, cool. Man.
Shin Godzilla,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
it's so you can see I do rough things out a little bit, but really I pretty much go straight to tight. So this is what I'm working on. It's probably gonna, when I started working on the face, I thought, oh my God, this is gonna take me ages. But you know what? I'll chip away at it a little bit at a time, and I'll show you progress on my Instagram. As I like to show works in progress. So as I chip away at it, I'll post more pictures. But that's the next thing I'm
Very
working
cool,
on.
Giuseppe.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This has been a blast. This has been so much fun, really. Thank you guys. Thank you, Frank and AJ, for having me. This has been absolutely like beyond a thrill for me, because I'm a fan of you guys. I love what you do for the fandom and the community, and giving people like the opportunity to get these figures at an affordable price so that they're not having to sell a kidney on eBay to get them off eBay. So I encourage everyone to watch the show. Your show's coming up at 10:30, right?
Yeah, we're gonna take like a 10-minute intermission, and we'll be right back.
Awesome. Well, then thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for everyone that follows me on Instagram. And like I said, if you're not watching this live and you're watching it after the fact, we still appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. This was a thrill. I hope that
thanks for joining us, Giuseppe.
Yep. Thanks. I hope we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, and if you're
definitely.
If you're not watching this live, the link to the Etsy store is also in the YouTube comments. You don't have to dive through the live chat, because sometimes the live chat disappears. I don't know. YouTube's weird sometimes.
Yeah.
But it is in the comments of the video. So definitely, if you like any of these prints, reach out. And
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, man, thank you so much, dude. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I don't know if you saw John. We were messing with John on Instagram with the Italian guys.
Oh yeah, he said a couple of Italian New Yorkers. What could be better?
And I said 3 Italian guys. So maybe that will be a future live chat.
Dude, I love him. I'm a fan of his art, but I'm a fan of his. He's just one of the nicest dudes ever.
Yeah, John's a cool guy, man.
He's the best. I told you yesterday when we chatted, I was supposed to have him and Dope Pope over because we're all locals, and then COVID hit, and that's that. So, but when we're all vaccinated, we'll all hang out, you and your dad, and we'll all get together. And,
yeah, man, have a whole New York party, East Coast.
Yeah, man, we'll do our little mini New York G Fest. Yeah, we'll call it something else so we don't get sued. Yeah.
Well, all right, man. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll be back in just 10 minutes. All right. Take it easy, everybody.
Take care.